I will call a meeting to order. If everyone could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for attending our Board of Commissioners meeting. Just as a note, an executive session was held prior to tonight's meeting for legal reasons. All right, next on the agenda, citizens to be heard. Anything for the agenda items? I will reach out here to the Township Building. Any comments? Any agenda items? Comments? No? Oh, is that for the town meeting house? Okay, that's not on the agenda, but we can speak about it. Public comment at the end of the meeting? Okay, thank you. And anyone in Zoom? All right, first thing or second thing on the agenda is solicitor, the forestry regulations. Ms. Camp, you lead us on that.
Good evening. So your zoning ordinance has a provision relating to forestry and timber harvesting. And we have been advised that some of those provisions probably need to be looked at and examined to see that they're consistent with the state law. Pennsylvania has many statutes that come under the umbrage of acre. There are protections for various agricultural uses, which forestry is one of them. So I'm going to, with your approval, take a close look at that particular section of your zoning ordinance. I just did this, or our office just did this on behalf of East Brandywine Township actually last Thursday. Similar idea. They had a very similar section as you do, and they adopted an ordinance. It's a model ordinance that the Commonwealth, I think Penn State actually helped prepare to make sure that it's consistent with all the acre laws. So with your permission, I'm going to go ahead and get a draft of that, work with Ray on that, and run it by your planning commission, and then bring it back to you for potential hearing.
Okay.
And I think that's something that we should do outside of your zoning task force, because that wasn't part of Nancy's scope. It's sort of a separate thing, and whatever we ultimately do, actually East Brandywine took it out of zoning and put it in a standalone ordinance. So it wouldn't be part of what she's doing anyway. So just wanted to update you on that.
All right, commissioners, any comments, questions? Let me just reach out to the public here. Any residents have questions pertaining to this? I do not see any hands raised here. Anyone in Zoom?
No.
All right, commissioners, all in favor to have Ms. Camp take a look at this?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, Ms. Camp. Next on the agenda, engineer. We have County Meeting House preliminary hydraulic study for the culvert option. Do we have Ross online?
I am here. Good evening, commissioners.
Good evening, Ross. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, so the first topic is relating to the Cowan Meeting House Road Bridge. And so the as we had been applying for a grant to seek funds to replace the bridge, we did a cost estimate, and the replacing the bridge with a similar bridge structure was coming up as a pretty high cost. And we wanted to explore a different option that could have a lower cost, and that would be a box culvert instead of a bridge. So for your consideration tonight, we have a proposal for services to do a preliminary hydraulic study and concept plan and cost estimate for a box culvert option for replacement of that bridge structure to seek a lower cost alternative that would be more affordable for the township. And so those services are in our proposal would be for a not to exceed amount of $10,600.
All right, Ross. Well, you said the magic words there, lower cost for the township. So that's a good sign.
And one further benefit that I just wanted to mention is that the preliminary hydraulic study, any work that we do for that, we would also have to do even if we replaced it with a bridge. So we would have to do that work either way.
Sounds good. How much of a difference were you looking at?
So I don't have the exact numbers until we go through the full cost estimate, but I think that there's the possibility to save like up to $500,000 or so.
Okay, well worth it. All right, commissioners, any comments?
Just a question. So what exactly does this study do? It looks at the ground underneath to whether it could support it, or what exactly is it doing?
So this study would be to evaluate the waterway opening that would be required to pass the whatever storm event flow rate is calculated to need to flow under the structure, and we would also be evaluating the grading because for a box culvert, that structure is typically you put that into the ground, and then there's earth and stone cover over that with the road on top. So we would need to also check elevations and determine whether it's feasible to, if we only had to raise the road a little bit, that's probably feasible. But based on these waterway openings and evaluating elevations, we could determine if the structure would fit physically and be a feasible alternative.
And you said that regardless if we went with a box culvert or a bridge, we would have to do this study anyway.
That's right, because even if we were doing a bridge replacement, we would need to know the flow rates of the stormwater runoff that's generated upstream that has to be passed through this particular structure. So all of that work would be done regardless of whether it's a box culvert or a bridge approach for the waterway crossing.
Okay, thank you.
And can I ask who actually is going to be doing this survey? Did I miss something? I don't, the
Sure. So
consulting with
Oh, Gilmore.
Gilmore Associates.
yep, we would do these stormwater calculations by mapping drainage areas and land covers to figure out how much runoff would be coming down, and then do structure sizing calculations for a waterway opening to pass those flow rates. And then assuming that that was looking feasible, we would also continue to a basic concept plan and a cost estimate for that option. And that's all.
It was something that had to go out to bid for someone else to look at the cost of doing it outside of the firm. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. That's it. Did you have a question about this project? Please come up to the mic and just state your name. That's standing quite tall. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes. yes.
Okay, cool.
And your name
My
is?
only question, Rick Chappelle from Granger Lane.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
You've emailed us many a time.
Yeah,
Okay. I recognize the name. I don't think we've ever met.
Oh, we'll meet later. How's that?
Okay, sounds good.
My only question to the engineer is, are you going to do a year water flow study through there? So you know what the maximum amount of water is going to be that flows through there over the last 100 years?
Good question.
Because you don't want to undersize the culvert you put it in.
Yeah, Ross, yeah. Want to answer that?
Yes. So we would be looking at the physical drainage area that flows to this area. So that what that typically involves is obtaining publicly available contour information, and between that and also knowing drainage patterns that are connected with roads and storm drainage systems in the area, we're going to figure out exactly how much area is draining to this bridge location. And we also will be able to, with aerial imagery, map the approximate impervious coverage versus woods coverage. And that goes into a calculation software that develops an estimate of what the flow rates would be for different storm events. And then we would be also, as we go through this process, thinking about what the appropriate design storm event should be. And then through all of that, figure out what waterway opening we need and make sure that we have this structure large enough that it's what we want it to be able to handle.
Thanks, Ross. We all had question marks on our face during half.
Yeah,
of that,
like,
but,
well,
but you know what you're doing, and I can trust that. So, thanks for the question. All right. Anyone else here in the township building? Adam, come on up.
Adam Thomas, 310 Carlin Court. Ross, quick question for you. This is now the third bridge we've had storm damage to. Do we at some point need to think about armoring the banks upstream of some of these more vulnerable bridges and projects? Is that a realistic thought, or is that something that we don't need to worry about right now?
Yes. So I think there are bridge inspection programs, and we're actually in the midst of some of that right now. So these topics are actually being looked at for other bridges in the township. In this particular situation, we already know that corrections need to be made right away because it's closed currently, and then the replacement will address any of those types of scour issues. But to answer your question in general, yes, that is something that should be considered and evaluated, and that is actually ongoing for the bridges within the township, so that we can try and forestall any of these further issues.
Good answer. Thanks, Ross. Anyone else here in the township building? Not seeing any hands raised. Anyone in Zoom? Right, as I see, it's a discussion item, so there is no action needed at this point. That doesn't make sense. But I guess put it on the next agenda.
Yeah.
As an action item. All right. Thank you, Ross.
Sure.
You have
Yep.
2.2 Ingleside Golf Course spillway.
Yes.
We all know what happens when that water just kind of flows right into Bailey.
Yes. So I was speaking with the township manager and public works director, and we were hearing some concerns that the spillway at the golf course, which is at the creek right near where it crosses under Geo Carlson Boulevard, that there's some concern that that spillway might be a little high in elevation, which could allow water in the pond there to overflow in a direction that's more to the east towards North Bailey Road, which is not intentional. So the way that we are proposing to take the next step on evaluating that issue is to do a topographic survey of the spillway, as well as an area just to the east of the pond, essentially in the golf course, so that we can compare those elevations and try and come to a determination of what might be happening there. And so we have some other survey work coming up in the township shortly. So this proposal that we have in front of you for these survey services, the understanding is we would just combine all of those into one day for travel time efficiency. So we're proposing $1,200 of survey services to go out, do that topographic survey, and put together a quick overlay plan that provides the elevations that we survey with an aerial image to provide some context.
Good. Commissioners, any comments, questions?
No, I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I would be interested to find out what had happened. Because the overflow wasn't like this years ago.
It wasn't severe storms. It would flow backwards, but it had to be severe.
Okay, the severe storms.
Yeah.
Caused
Just flash floods.
the 1,000-year storms,
Yeah.
and 500-year storms. Okay, that might answer. All right, let me reach out here to the public. Any comments, questions? None at this time. Anyone in Zoom? Okay, once again, it's just a discussion item, so let's put it on the next agenda for action. Thorndale Fire Company paving and drainage. What do you got there, Ross?
Yes, so we have recently completed and sent over to the township staff a preliminary design plan and a cost estimate that goes with that for drainage and paving improvements at the Thorndale Fire Company site. So the idea there is to eliminate some drainage issues where there's undrained low points in the paved area, and what happens then is as water just sits there and gets into little cracks in the pavement and makes the subgrade wet, then heavy vehicles going across can break up the pavement a lot faster than would ordinarily happen. There's also some rutting in the asphalt pavement in front of the garage doors where the fire trucks enter and exit. So that we're proposing a concrete pad there at that entrance, which would be much more durable. And then you may recall from our previous discussion that the driveway that extends up to Geo Carlson Boulevard, that it's very difficult to snow plow that driveway based on its current configuration. So there would be just some milling and repaving to shape that in a way that's more suitable for snow plowing, so that in the winter, fire trucks can respond to emergencies more efficiently. And so those are the general improvements that we would be proposing to make. And then we put together a cost estimate for that. And we were estimating using prevailing wage pricing as if the township were doing the work, just to make an understanding of what that would be. The construction costs would be about $185,000. And then just to we included in this estimate, we said, okay, another 10% for engineering and bidding, another 10% for construction administration and observation during the work, and then a 10% contingency since the design is only preliminary. So that makes the total project cost and effort, we had estimated about $240,000 and $300. And so that's really just kind of informational for the township to consider, and let us know if there's any further research or design work that you'd like us to put into the preliminary design. But that's between what we're thinking could solve the issues that are occurring out there. We estimate that the whole project would be around $240,000.
Thank you, Ross. Commissioners, comments, questions?
So it's definitely something that's needed, because if you've ever driven that back driveway, it's definitely curved. And when the trucks come in and out, it definitely ponds there with water. But my only question would be, where are we going to take this money from?
How are we paying for it?
Really good question. And this is something I know we've been discussing quite a bit. When this was first proposed earlier in the year, there was a thought perhaps we could add it as an add-on to the road program. Obviously, once Ross was able to go out there and explore the site conditions, it was in worse repair than we thought. Simply putting a new paving on top wasn't going to be sufficient to resolve some of the stormwater issues and other concerns with the access to over the creek and throughout the entire area. So we're looking into if we are able to use liquid fuels in order to fund this project. One of the benefits would be, if you recall, the road program came in a significantly less. The low bid was, quite frankly, almost 200,000 less than was anticipated. That money was budgeted in liquid fuels towards road work improvements, and we're currently exploring if that's a feasible option in order to help fund this improvement, at least in part.
Thank you for always trying to find the path to get there without putting a big hurt. Thanks.
Well, as Commissioner Young had stated, it's very important because we need our EMS service, our fire department to be able to access that road out to Geo Carlson, because coming out on Lincoln Highway to get around is just adding time to an emergency.
Yeah.
So let's figure out how we can actually fund this. Any other questions? All right, let me reach out here to the township. And folks, Ron? Thumbs up from Ron? Okay. All right, good. No hands raised here. How about in Zoom?
Mark.
Oh, Mark. Hey, welcome, Mark.
Good evening, everybody.
Mark.
Is any work being done in this project on the bridge that crosses the creek? And if not, was the bridge inspected to make sure that it can handle the load that's put upon it?
Good question. The culvert there.
So
Ross, go ahead first, and then we have Patrick that can make a comment as well.
Right. So just from the work that we did, we weren't asked to do anything specific with the bridge. So our scope so far has been limited to just the on-site pavement and drainage improvements.
Patrick, you want to
Yeah,
add?
as far as the culvert, so I believe the last time it was inspected was from item.
We had certified, it was shut down, obviously, we couldn't, and they found no deficiencies. Knock on, I know this metal, but knock on wood. So that was the last time it was inspected, obviously, probably as we go forward, more regular inspection, but at least it had been 30 years ago when we first built the lane.
Okay, yeah, so inspected just a few years ago.
Just a question, does the engine and the rescue actually use that driveway, or is that? So more often it's for the volunteers coming up from Joe Carlson. If there is an emergency for, I'll say Thorn Ridge or something like that, we will exit out the back, obviously, to get to the emergency a lot quicker. But it's more regularly for the firefighters, fire police, and things coming in, than anything. That's what I thought. As well as a lot of pups cutting up to Lincoln Highway.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, sir.
And Ross, wouldn't that culvert be part of the stormwater study as well?
I'm not sure if that is on the list of bridges that we have or not at the moment. I'd have to check back on that.
All right, thank you. Good question. And that was Mark online. Anyone else? Once again, just a discussion item. So let's put that on the agenda. Discuss it some more and maybe do some action. All right, next on the agenda, Township Manager.
Thank you, commissioners. A couple items tonight, and have the first item. I know our solicitor Camp want to thank her for all the work that went into this. Normally this would be under her section, but it's a big announcement, so I took it. So she was gracious enough to allow me to introduce it. Let me put it that way. For the past several months, over a year, there have been discussions with regarding the Quaker Meeting House on Kings Highway. It's an historic structure, dates back almost 300 years at this point. The Friends group was looking to find a way to ensure the property was preserved in perpetuity, and approached the township to see if there was any interest in taking that on. Through a series of discussions over that period of time, including one that was absolutely fantastic in the winter in the meeting house with the stove running, having in-depth conversations about the history of that building, the history of the township, and through the work of our solicitor, there before the commissioners tonight for discussion is an agreement with the Friends regarding the dedication of that property to the township. This would allow for it to be preserved by the township in perpetuity. It would maintain as it stands today, and would be just another resource, another gem in the township's portfolio of historic structures, and available to present that to future generations. There's a lot of individuals who have been involved in this over the course of the past year plus. And before you tonight is the agreement. Of course, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and we'll definitely rely on our solicitor for that, including taking it through, getting a judge to sign off on this agreement, and the actual dedication itself. But the dedication would include, there's 4 parcels up there. This would be 3 of the parcels: the meeting house proper, the cemetery, another on the lot of land on the western side of Callan Meeting House. Not included in this agreement is the cemetery on the south side of Kings Highway. It's actually owned by another Friends group, and we are in discussions with them, and they are interested in potentially dedicating that property to the township as well. So much more to come, but this is a lot of work went into this by a lot of individuals, and very, very pleased to present this to the commissioners as a discussion item this evening.
Commissioners.
Yeah, thanks, Don. I just wanted to throw this out there. I want to thank Don Coughlin for first opening the door and inviting us to a lunch with Graham and Deborah Miles, where Rick Spackman was. I think Patty was at the first one too. It was no, Mary Ann was there. Bill McFrederick, and then as it progressed, the Quakers morphing to fill seats of people who were moving on to make sure that we could get to this point. And it's pretty amazing that in 18 months we could get to here. So thank you.
Exciting.
Any other comments?
Yeah, that's good.
And as my understanding, the Old Town Historical Society will still be able to use the front section.
Explicitly listed in the agreement is the Old Town Historical Society will maintain the museum and current activities at the site. Absolutely.
And if you haven't been there, make sure you would, stop by. They have tons of information about the history of Count Township. I love going there. So, learn something new each time. And they have a few things for sale. I'm promoting. I am promoting here. So definitely looking forward to that. Let me ask any residents that are unaware of this activity, any questions on this? No, none. Anyone in Zoom? No, it's just a discussion item. I guess at next meeting, turn it into an action item. Looking forward to it.
Do it.
Thank you, Kristen. Taking off.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, number 3.2, you have a memorial bench program. That's exciting. If you haven't donated a bench, you should.
Oh, wow.
like that.
Yeah. This is a little bit of different take on it.
Order before midnight tonight.
No.
You could donate it, but not there.
All right. So we are very lucky that a new company that's very local to us has started constructing recycled plastic benches, the kind that we require when people are buying benches for the park for a loved one or just to sponsor a bench. And the folks at Jahaco came to us and asked if we would be willing to let them sell benches on our behalf. So Parks and Rec met with them and we're really excited about this idea. And I want to show you their website. So this is a mock-up that they did of the site and how it will look. We've discussed it multiple times now at our Parks and Rec meetings. But the gist of it is we can allow certain numbers in each park, or you can see here along Geo Carlson Boulevard if you wanted to put a bench along the pathway there. People deal with Jahaco and tell us when a bench has been sold and they will install it for us too. So we get a say over what is printed on the bench and where it's going, but other than that, they take care of everything. So if you are amenable, we would like to go ahead and launch this program and start promoting this website for when people approach us, especially and want to purchase a bench. This will make it much simpler. Their price is actually, I know it's, $8.99 is not nothing, but we don't have to pay for shipping. So this is actually much cheaper than it would be to buy a similar product from the park catalog.
I think you said they're sustainable. They're from
Yeah, what are they made of?
They're plastic bags.
Yes.
Plastic.
Yeah, and there's a plant in Delaware that we asked. They do not need any more plastic bags. Very much so. So they have all the plastic they need, but they're melting them down. They can do a bunch of different colors. Parks and Rec recommended we stick to our green color for consistency's sake. Yeah, so they're sustainable and they will last a very long time.
Are we going to be adding them to Lloyd Park? Is that on the agenda? That's what's gonna happen, that one, and also Ruth Perkins Park.
We included all the parks, so people can choose which ones.
So
And then
all of
within the
them,
park where they would like, we even put the Meadow Park on here. if
And the
someone
township
really
building the
wanted to
Meadow
go.
Park.
that would be great.
You want some at the golf course?
Oh, golf.
Not the golf
course,
course.
good.
We talked
Add
about
it.
it. We can have the
course
golf
added.
course.
Somewhere along the road.
Yeah,
Thank you.
For those that don't have a cart.
yeah,
Need to sit.
and just sit.
Have a sit.
Have a sit.
Excellent idea.
Yeah.
All right. Commissioners, any other comments on that? Oh,
Yeah,
that's an
it's gonna be
action.
Nice.
Ooh, action.
This was listed as an action item in order to promote for Community Day. Will be here before we know it.
Oh, yeah, it is around the corner.
Yeah.
Residents here in the township building, any comments, questions? Anyone want to sign up?
Get on the website. jump
They're
on
all
board.
jumping up and down here. Yeah. So anyone in Zoom? It's an excellent idea, so I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Move by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Kennedy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thanks, Abby.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, 3.3. What do you got there?
Thank you, commissioners. I'll kick this off and then defer over to Director Stackhouse, who's been instrumental in tracking down and presenting this proposal to the board for consideration. For you is you should have a memo from Director Stackhouse along with some financing information explaining the situation and the proposal. Essentially, in short, and please jump in, Director Stackhouse, at any point, but the
You're doing fine.
all right, thank you. As you know, we do have on order a apparatus, a rescue apparatus that's 24 years old at this point. Unfortunately, the build time for these vehicles, because there's such a high demand, is 4 to 5 years. So we are not expecting to receive that vehicle until 2027. In the meantime, the current engine we have is starting to have significant need for maintenance. And the cost is a factor, of course. These are not cheap vehicles to maintain. The real concern is when both the 24-year-old vehicle and the engine are both in the shop at the same time. And I just want to commend Director Stackhouse for being creative in obtaining loaner trucks for a period or relying on neighboring departments in order to ensure full coverage throughout the community, is met. However, it's obviously not an optimal or sustainable solution until 2027. Because of that factor and because of the need, the high priority of emergency services that this board has placed in the community, this proposal is before you. Essentially, there's an option which I didn't know about. I was learning through this process. The dealership that we purchased and ordered these vehicles from, these apparatus, they occasionally essentially have what they refer to as demo vehicles. Now, these are not vehicles that have high miles or anything. They're not leased type of vehicles, apparatus, but they will be coming right off the line. It will be a new engine, and we're able to acquire it in a relatively short period of time. The difference is it's not custom built like the Rescue will be when it's received in 2027. These are stock models, essentially. The benefit to that is if we're able to get and provide paperwork in order to say we're interested in that, the lead time would be cut from 4 to 5 years to 3 to 4 months. So presumably, if this board would be interested, would be able to acquire a new engine by close of this year, very early next year. The price is what an engine would cost. It is about $1 million in order to purchase this vehicle, this apparatus. So it's not a small price tag. Before in your packet, of course, we do have some financing options that Director Swan has put together. We do have a number of different options and could select any one or combination in order to put this forward if board would be so interested. It is listed on the agenda as a discussion or action item. And the reason for that, I know we do shy away from having action items unless there's an urgent need during workshop meetings. But the engine is open to the public at this point, and there's a lot of other municipalities that are in similar or, you know, a need of this sort. And there's if the board is interested, there is a timing issue. One of the questions that I had was how often, does this come up? These demo vehicles, and it's difficult to determine. They are not frequent, and the next vehicle that is purchased as a demo or available as a demo may not fit the needs for the community. This one does. So wanted to present this to the board, and I know probably leaving half the important information out here, so I'll stop talking and let Director
Okay,
Jeff
Ray.
fill in the
No, I appreciate
Joe.
I appreciate it. The manager actually took half my speech, so I actually appreciate that. Everything that Don said is very true. The situation we're in, the commissioners were gracious enough and forethinking enough to allow us to order the replacement for the rescue in 2023, knowing it was a 4-year build time. At that time, we were, kind of band-aiding the rescue as it was. Over the last 2 years, that has gotten worse. As a result, I'll just use this year to kind of emphasize the situation we're in. This year, the rescue, we knew we had a laundry list of items that were mechanical issues. So when it went up for its normal maintenance and service, they were going to work on that list. Well, that list doubled and tripled to the point where the truck was out of service for over 4 weeks. The downside to that was during that time, our engine was due for its annual service and maintenance. We pushed that off as long as we could to the point where the engine literally, we had 1 day and the engine would have been out of inspection.
Wow.
So we had to send the engine up for service as well. During that time, East Wayland Township Fire Department graciously loaned us their engine. Unfortunately, that wasn't sustainable because during that time, twice they had to call their truck back for service and other things as well. To the point where there were 2 occasions that we didn't have a fire truck in Callan Township. We had career staff, we had volunteers, we had no fire truck. Through cooperational effort with the city of Coatesville, we sent our career staff down, staffed their engine, and basically added Coatesville to all of Callan Township calls so that we could assure service. So we were never without service, but we really had to do some juggling to be able to make that happen. As the manager said, we're recognizing that after we just recently put almost $30,000 this year into the rescue, that's not going to be sustainable. Over the last 5 years, we've put about $90,000 into the rescue, and it's still constantly in danger of not being able to perform its function. That means the engine is getting double duty when the rescue's out, and we're trying to save the rescue for specific calls, which means the engine's running additional calls. So we put our heads together. It is worth noting that, our integrated command staff, the other members of that are here. Corndale Fire Company Chief Pat Taylor, Deputy Chief Don Taylor, as well as Career Captain and Deputy Fire Marshal Ryan Lewis. So they're here as well in support of this. So we have on order a rescue from Pierce Manufacturing. We contacted them right away, our rep, to talk about what we call a demo unit, which is a little deceiving in its wording. It's really what's called a stock truck. So the Glick Manufacturing, the representative, they purchase these fire trucks as well. And when they come off the line, they use them as demos sometimes for 3 months, show them the prospective clients, the whole 9 yards, and then they'll be up for sale. Well, during times when some of their customers need trucks, they'll forego the demo part. And if you purchase it, as soon as it comes off the line, it's available for you to buy it. So that's the situation we're in. We sat down with that representative 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Looked at 2 stock trucks that were coming off the line this year in the near future. One of them met our needs more than the other one, and that's the one we have in front of you as a potential resolution to the situation. It is worth mentioning that our kind of game plan is this. The new rescue will come in 2027. If we purchase this vehicle will be available towards the end of December, the beginning of January. If we receive this, we would get rid of the rescue immediately. We would put it out of service, put this unit into service, until 2027 when the new rescue comes in. By time we take delivery of that, do training, make sure the bugs are worked out, the plan would be the engine that we have currently, we would sell that. Mainly because we could get our best return on that. You know, based on the numbers we looked at, and again, there's huge variables there, but with the mileage and the age it is, we estimate anywhere between $150,000 to $250,000. So we figured that was a good return on our investment, potentially put that back in to pay for the demo truck. That we would, in 2028, we would immediately come back and ask the commissioners for support to design and purchase a replacement for the demo, knowing that it'll take another 4 years for that to come in. So, you know, you're talking having the demo about 6-7 years before, you know, it would come in. That would give us time to design something that would meet the needs for the next 10, 12, 15 years. It would also put us with 2 newer vehicles, but we would be in a good position to start a real replacement program, which we haven't had in the 20 years I've been here. We did get a newer engine, but we really haven't had a true replacement plan. If we get onto a 12 or 15-year replacement plan, which means we be one truck like about every 8 or 9 years, we would start, you know, designing that and ordering it. We would start getting better return on our vehicles and decrease our maintenance costs, you know, immensely. Right now, our maintenance, our annual maintenance, we usually budget for the last couple years, we budget about $42,000. Typically, the normal maintenance and repair costs for the engine and rescue are anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000. That's when it goes up for a couple days. It gets all the certifications, the pump flow, the regular truck maintenance, the whole 9 yards. Then there's typically, you know, a little bit of maintenance during the year. Over the last few years on actually both trucks, we've had huge costs that far exceed that $4,000 to $6,000 for normal maintenance. So we really are at a transition point. You know, a couple community data reinforcement comments. When we look at, you know, how important is this to have a truck? Because again, we're talking, you know, $2 million between the 2 trucks. Since January of 2024, we've seen approximately 307 new living units come into Cowan Township, including 84 owner-occupied homes and 223 rental units. With the county average of 2.5 people per household, that's approximately 768 new residents in just the last 16 months. Looking forward, my place in the hills at Thorndale Woods still have 619 units to be built. The Cohen project's another 161 units. When you combine these, the projected population increase is 2,717 over the next 2 to 5 years. You know, with that forecast, a conservative estimation is by 2030, 2031, our population will be 20,000. You know, that kind of population is going to expect services. And we're going to expect to provide those services to them, you know, all the way from, you know, passive and active recreational areas to public works to, you know, the police department to obviously emergency service and the EMS. So, you know, that expectation is only going to increase, and that demand obviously is going to increase.
We've already started to see that growth is reflected over the last 3 years. Fire calls in 2023 totaled 564. In 2024, 617. And we're on a pace to hit 670 to 700 calls this year. With the upcoming reestablishment of the quick response service to support our EMS, we anticipate those call numbers will only increase. And obviously it gets reported every month. You know, there's over 2,200 EMS calls in Callan Township alone over the last several years. That's been consistent and rising. So in summary, we're at a critical juncture. The acquisition of the demo unit represents a practical, timely, and fiscally responsible solution that ensures the continued ability for us to deliver emergency service to the residents. We do respectfully request the commissioner's support, if possible, in securing this essential apparatus. Taking proactive steps today will help safeguard our community tomorrow. So we're here for any questions or any additional information that we can possibly give you.
Commissioners, any questions for Ray? Board, Mr. Rizal?
I have a couple questions and comments, but I'd rather hear if there's any public comment.
Okay, I'm gonna reach out to the public. Anyone here in the township building? Comments, questions? Ron, you wanna? You may be biased, but okay.
My name's Ron Nord, 21 Marshall Circle. I fully support this. And I think a lot of people, you don't understand. You can't go to Brian Hoskins or to Sloan and pick up an engine. They just don't make them that way. That's why it takes 4 years to get. All you got to do is look at neighboring fire companies. Everybody's struggling exactly the same. The best thing that Ray suggested tonight, as far as I'm concerned, is if you can get them on a replacement plan. That way, everybody's ready. Everybody's pulling in the same direction. Fully supported.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
I have one question for Ray. It wasn't that long ago that these were 20-year trucks. What's happened there?
That's a very good question. So a couple things have happened. I think you see it in your own vehicles, minus, certain brands.
Yeah.
Certain brands were getting hundreds of thousands of miles, right? Other vehicles aren't lasting that long. I think one of the key reasons for that is the same reason that we're having the issue with dwindling volunteerism. When we had that huge influx of people that were mechanics and plumbers and all these other things, people that could weld, we worked on our own vehicles, right? Just like Public Works. You would change the oil, you would do the service, you would do the maintenance. The problem is, number one, we just don't have those people that have those skills and the liability for us to do that. And if an accident happens or something, it's just not worth the liability. So obviously the maintenance is getting done, as best we can and as often as we can based on the manufacturer's recommendations. But it's just not like, somebody that was messing with them, every Saturday, your volunteer engineer would come in, and do this maintenance. The other thing, just like vehicles, the road grime, the salt, all are just leading to that. The other thing is, don't get me wrong, like a company in, I'll just use someplace, in the mountains, could take a truck that maybe is 20 years old. And again, they may have some of those people that can still work on it because they're running, 50 calls a year. They're running a brush fire, they're running a forest fire. But when you start running, 700-800 calls a year, to the calls that we go to, the reliability is just, I always say that out of service time is our biggest, one of our biggest concerns. Obviously money is the cost, but when we have a vehicle that's out of service, starting to get out of service 4 weeks, 5 weeks at a time. But it's a very valid point. It's just not happening. 20 years used to be part of a replacement plan. You just don't see that anymore. It's typically 10, 12, or 15 years at the max.
And the vehicles are more complex than they used to be.
Well, yeah,
And
you
you've
just
got
can't figure that out.
A computer system.
You've got emission programs on, those old 7.3 or larger diesel motors, they weren't that complex, you know, they didn't have emission programs.
Well, and to your point, almost, everything used to be manual. Everything used to be manual. Now, even a lot of our pumps, a bunch of us are trying to get back to as much manual as we can. But a lot of the pumps and the mechanics of it are electronic. So as soon as the electronic messes up, there's nothing
It
we
shuts
can do.
Can I ask how are the warranty packages on these vehicles?
About as good as the warranty on your car.
Oh, good. So,
No, and it's, another valid question. They're nothing special.
no.
You would think maybe be an emergency service vehicle. The next question, or somebody might ask, why are we picking Pierce, this specific manufacturer? Well, one of those reasons is the dealer, Glick, is in Smoketown. So there's a lot to be said for that. We've tried literally every maintenance shop, just here at Thorndale, we've tried. And they're all have their positives. They all do good. Then a certain mechanic leaves and it's not good anymore. One of the pluses with Glick is they're so close in Smoketown. So if there is, while the warranty's there, if there's a warranty issue, it's only in
Close,
Smoketown. We
yeah.
can run it up. Glick also has a mobile service. So for normal repairs, they come to the station. So we did just switch to them last year, and that's a huge benefit. And Pierce just has a fantastic name. So
Any other questions from residents here? Not see any hands raised. Anyone in Zoom? Oh, yes. Welcome, Cheryl. Oh, muted? So it looks like you're muted.
That's better.
There you go.
Okay.
Ah, perfect.
Okay.
Welcome. It's been a long time.
I was on vacation for 3 weeks. I gotta tell you, this is my summer.
Good for you.
I think Ray properly points out that, clearly we have to have good equipment in order to service this township. That goes, I think, without saying. But I think Ray pointed out the reality is that all this development is part of the problem. So that leads me to ask a question. And since we have our lawyer there right now, is there any reason that the township cannot institute a fee when we give approvals for fire and that kind of thing, emergency?
Actually, our lawyer, our solicitor had stepped out. She's done for the evening.
I actually can. That's also a great question. So Cheryl, unfortunately, believe it or not, in Pennsylvania, impact fees for emergency services is illegal. So,
Wow.
yeah, what you're suggesting is called an impact fee, and other states you can do that. In Pennsylvania, you cannot.
Even to our township residents, we can't either.
So the only way we can, the township residents, is through our fire tax. It's not really it's not an impact fee, but in a sense it is. And that's why the commissioners, again, were forethinking enough to start the fire tax. Because that's the way, everybody, in theory, benefits from the service. Because again, hopefully you don't need it, but you want it. It's like life insurance. You hope the people are well trained. You want them to have good equipment. You want them to be ready, and you want them to be able to get there immediately. So, I'm a huge supporter of the fire tax because everybody pays according to, in theory, again, according to their means, based on their necessity.
Let me ask this question. Is it possible? That's fine. I don't care how we get the money, if it's a tax rate versus a fee. Can we institute the tax the minute the unit is built? And if the developer so wishes to pay that fee because the people who buy it won't want to, can we get the fee back that way?
We currently have the fire tax, and
But you
the
get it
minute
though.
the minute the home is assessed, then they get an interim bill that includes the fire tax.
But I think to your point, just to add to what Commissioner Young said, so that is one of the, I guess, again, from my perspective, that's one of the benefits of as the developments that are already approved
as they build and they get a use and occupancy and they occupy their home, they
Okay.
immediately then get assessed, and then our fire tax, increases automatically based on how many, how many assessments occur per year.
So if we had 2,000 new units coming in, I mean, you can't, you don't, the assessments have got to be 250,000. Do you have any idea how much money that represents?
I do not right in front of me tonight, but I guess one of the downsides is that it only occurs, so when we issue a UNO for each living unit, then
Mhm.
that gets sent, we send that to the county. The county's already admitted they're, at least a year behind. So it takes almost at least a year from the time we issue that for us to see that fire tax money. So,
Really?
yeah, even if I told you today, again, that 200, additional 2,000 residents, are only going to incrementally occur over the next 2 to 5 years. But it'll probably take us 7 to 9 years to collect all,
Wow.
be collecting that tax.
I can't ever remember seeing that. Is that a bill that comes to the residents separately?
No, it's on your property tax,
Yeah.
so.
Oh,
it's a-
okay.
Yeah, it's a line item that says fire
In
tax.
there.
Okay, all right, just a thought.
And Cheryl, I
Thank you,
asked the
Cheryl.
exact same question.
I mean, it's, it's a great frustration for all of us, and having been on the other side, it's a great frustration for the developers as well. But the fact that they aren't paying for roads and the things that they cause, it's a problem, and there's no easy answer, I know. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
You.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Commissioner Young.
So a couple questions. The rescue is now over 20 years old, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was bought in 2003. Is that right?
Yes,
23 years
Mhm.
old.
And then the engine was bought.
17. Well, we took delivery of it,
Yeah, it's been a while.
15.
Yeah, we-
The engine is technically a 2015. 2015.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did we take delivery of that one? June of 2015. Okay. And if my memory serves me right, the rescue at that time was around 300,000-400,000.
When you bought the rescue,
Right.
the rescue was 600.
600.
in 2000, when we signed the paperwork in 01.
Okay.
660,
And the fire engine was around 600.
495 even.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the rescue now is, what did we sign the contract for?
Two.
Oh, yep, 1.2 million.
1.2, and this will be 1 million.
A little, 1,020,000. I think.
Yes.
It's just their costs on these are
Yes, we do.
doubling.
You're in the wrong business.
They are, and
You don't,
to your point, Commissioner Young, the problem is there's no end in sight, there doesn't seem to be a regulatory agency to regulate that, but there's a lot of regulatory agencies to regulate, all these other things, the death and, helmet, place to secure your helmet. And, there's an almost automatic increase every year of about $30,000 just for things like that, that are beyond our control. And now that you brought that up, I'm glad to say it, but it is a good example. Like the rescue that we ordered was 1.2 million, and that was a custom truck. Nothing crazy, but we did customize it to meet our needs. This stock truck that we will have zero customization is 1,020,000.
we did. And if you don't make a decision tonight, it'll be another 5 million on top of it.
Not, actually, no, but what could happen is,
Every
again,
day.
because of the 4-year build time,
Mhm.
everybody's starting to take advantage. And you gotta remember, like, this truck now is accessible to everybody in a tri-state area, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania,
Jeez, we
and
gotta-
parts of New York, I believe.
We gotta act fast. It's gonna go.
So the big question, I guess,
Yeah.
is how do we pay for it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am hoping your expertise will tell me how. I believe the manager. I do know that, I talked to the finance director, and I know the manager and the finance director spoke, and I think he can speak to that for sure.
Can we pass the cup around?
Yeah.
A whole
And,
outcome.
before you step in there, I did have one question. Since it's just a stock vehicle, or are you gonna need to retrofit it, add anything to it at some
So,
point?
well, I'm glad you said that.
Just
So
in other words,
we do have a contingency, so we do have money in there, not to modify the structure of the truck or anything, but to modify the compartments to hold our equipment, which is typical, which is what we
Okay.
do anyway. The other thing to keep in mind, that's why, you know, our ultimate goal would be to replace that truck, you know, order another truck for that replacement in 2028, getting it in 2030, 2031, so that we would get back to something that, you know, 110% meets our needs, plus gets us into that,
a proper
replacement
cycle
cycle.
for replacement. Yes. Okay. Mr. Vimazol, you want to step in? You have all the answers.
I have options. It's even better.
Thanks, Patrick.
Now, in speaking with finance director about what options we would have, and obviously it's a large purchase, but one option would be, you know, taking out a note in order to help fund the purchase of this vehicle. Looking into it, we can roll a portion of that funding into the 2019 note. Does not mature until 2032. That's something that we would explore what that impacts would be if the commissioners would like us to move forward with this option. Also, we do have, of course, a reserve fund for, you know, if the economy would happen to hiccup, or any emergency purchases that may come up. Obviously, it's always optimal to have a healthy reserve in order to ensure good financial stability, but that is an option as well.
How much is left in the, two questions. Do we have to pay for it now or when we take delivery?
Yeah, very good question. When we take delivery, and that was, when I talked to them the other day, that's anticipated to be towards the end of December, the beginning of January. So they were confident that we wouldn't have to pay anything until January.
Okay. And what's in the fire equipment replacement fund?
About $500,000.
Okay. And I guess this question for you and Patrick, what else is scheduled to come out of that? Was there other items scheduled to come out of that equipment fund?
Well, I thought that was going towards the new vehicle in 2027.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I would just mention two things. Well, I never said that, but
Okay.
I definitely never said that. We did talk about that, but yeah, that's what I wanted to just keep in mind. When we signed the contract for the rescue replacement, the truth is we did not know where we were going to pay for it from. We knew obviously we could pay for it. We just didn't know where. We knew we had a 4-year buffer to figure that out. And I don't have an answer. $500,000 to, you know, over 2 million isn't going to go very far. And I wouldn't want to deplete that. Again, that's not my call, obviously, but you know, we could have had a catastrophic failure of another piece of apparatus that gives us a cushion. Again, that's why we have to have a replacement program, because if we commit to one, I know that's difficult. But then we know what we have to put in there. Right now, the truth is, we're only putting in the replacement fund, what we have left over after we spend our priorities out of the fire tax. So far, you know, our fire services has been almost 100% funded through the fire tax without any coming out of the general fund. Very little, even when we went to career staffing. But there's a limit to that. Or we have to, you know, I don't want to say it, but you know what, you know, or we have to increase that fund to be able to pay for that. Now I will tell you, our career staff salaries are, you know, $800,000. And you know, that continues to rise. The fire tax we're about at the max that we can pay for salaries anyway. So no matter what happens in the future, that's going to have to come out of the general fund. So I don't have good answers. I'm just saying we're kind of behind the gun. And we didn't come to you lightly with this at all. It was not the opportune time. You guys made a huge commitment in 2024 to partner with Thorndale Fire Company, and the truth is we got into the fire business in 2024. It's, you know, we're not buying fire trucks to give to a contracted service. We're buying fire trucks for the community and for our service now. So it's just like Public Works or the police department or, you know, the sewer department. So I know we're way early into it. And so some of these huge, you know, costs are frightening. But again, we have to weigh, you know, do we want to be without a fire truck or so I know that doesn't help figure out where to get the funds, but
Do you think we'll get good offers on our other trucks that we will trade in at some point?
so the rescue, absolutely not.
No.
No, you know, I know this is a little bit tongue in cheek, but we probably get more out of the weight of scrap than we'll get out of the vehicle for sale. And I spoke incorrectly that rescue's 22 years old, not 24, but no, that's the problem with waiting 22 years to replace it. Now the engine we do, I mean, unless something drastically changes, if we do the program the way we kind of laid out, we do think that we'll get, you know, a couple $100,000 that would be able to go back into the cycle.
Do they offer any type of financing, Glick itself or?
They do, but it's not good.
It's not good.
I talked to the manager about that. The vendor offers, you know, low percentage interest rates on loans as well. You know, the state, we could get, you know, some low interest loans. But you're going, and then you have multiple loans out to financial institutions.
Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Helen Eckel. I'm a resident up on Eastern Side. You had mentioned when the subject came up, it's a demo, and you said it's not a lease vehicle. Is there any kind of lease program, lease purchase, anything like that?
There are, but the same thing, not in the sense of leasing a vehicle, you know. So really, it's basically a loan. You know what I mean?
We've done that with police cars where it's just a dollar buyout at the end.
Yeah.
They're called leases, but they're really just loans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the rescue is gonna make it to the 2027 mark.
And this is the honest truth. We hold our breath a little bit every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing at all with the purchase. It's just, and this is a commissioner problem, is how do we fund not only these two items, but how do we fund this in the future? And get ourselves on a plan where it's not a $1 million purchase, we've already paid for it, you know, over a 10-year period.
Yeah.
I mean, they're needed pieces of equipment that we just can't go without them. So, I think we should move forward. We will, I guess, my opinion is that if need be, we could, while we figure out how to finance it, we could float the money out of our reserves and then pay ourselves back. Should we take a note? Should we get, try to get grants or whatever we're doing? We could float the money for a short period of time out of our fund balance and then, pay ourselves back with a note or whatever out of the fire tax, out of whatever we decide to do.
I neglected to mention, we do have a pending application for the truck that's ordered and I think it's $600,000 and change. Try to fund for half of that vehicle, and we have not received word yet back on that. So that is an outstanding potential to help offset some of those costs for the 2027 delivery.
Yeah, I think I agree with Commissioner Young.
Yeah.
This is definitely needed. We can figure out how to pay for it.
Try to save lives in the process.
Yeah.
No, it's been in the
We can't be
We've been
without.
waiting too long.
Yeah.
To get us on that cycle of replacement.
Repairs.
We've in the past couple of years, we've said that fire, EMS, and police are just non-negotiable items. We need all of them. That is our basic duty to the
Yes.
township. So, you know, we've got to just figure out how to pay for it, but we need them.
Let's crunch the numbers. I know budget season is coming up as well. Take a look at the fire tax.
Make it work.
All right, what is discussion and action item?
Yep.
We can take an action. Yeah, I already asked resident, any other questions? I know we had a lot of discussion here. So if any other questions came up in mind, anyone here in the township building? Anyone in Zoom? That's fine. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Kennedy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you, commissioners. I will, there's a draft letter, in your packet. I'll get Denise to have you sign. It's a commitment letter. I'll get that out first thing tomorrow morning. And then, on the next meeting agenda, I'll have a contract and all that, but this commitment letter will secure that vehicle from being sold to anybody else.
Okay, good.
So we want.
Do we all need to sign that or just Paul?
Just Paul.
Okay.
And so let East Whiteland know they can borrow at any time since they helped us. out.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Next on the agenda, historical commission event request. What do we have here?
Yes, thank you, commissioners. Next agenda item, we had a request that came forward at the last historical commission meeting. This would be an event to be held at the Spackman Davis Farm on December 13th. It would be in conjunction with the OCHS house tours. And this would, while the event is going on and a little bit after, be open for folks to come over and, refreshments, things of that sort. Based on the, new MOU that we have established, activities at the farm, such as this, should be brought before the commissioners for discussion. It's listed as a discussion item this evening, and I'm happy to try to answer any questions. I don't have a whole lot of details, but it is figured, it's August. We're dealing with 90-degree weather, but December will be here before we know it.
So true. Commissioners.
I just want to provide some background on that. Every year, the Historical Commission paints a tree, has it put up at Spackman Farm. Since we got electric there, then the Historical Commission goes and decorates the tree and puts out the sleigh, and it looks nice for people going by. And this year, we were thinking that if OCHS would join us for this, that it could be an after event. It wouldn't be going on during their house tours, that it would be as their house tours started to end, that the people doing the tours and the members of OCHS could attend. Now, I did send an email from the Historical Commission on August 4th, asking if they'd be interested, but I haven't heard back. So, I mean, if they're not interested, then this wouldn't even be on the agenda, but we haven't heard back. So, but I think some of them are here. So it would be a nice way to start, bridging and working together to make them stronger and get more attention on them, and to share the Spackman Farm Fund. So
Is this an afternoon event, Mark?
it'll actually be around sunset, and yeah, it'd be very controlled.
Okay, is this open to the public?
I think it would be to their people who have paid for their house tours and to their volunteers. Kind of but we didn't work those details out, and if it was open to the full public, that would create a multi-thousand-dollar headache.
Mhm.
But, as a nice ribbon on the top of their house tour, since they have 3 this year, it would be a nice gesture. So, but again, it's
So would this be right after a tour, or this is in addition to the tours they're already offering?
their tours start ending it would start like towards the end of their tours, so people could come. I think you go forth. What's the hours? Okay.
But
so-
this isn't a multi-day event. This is
No,
just-
no, this is
Okay.
just, it's the after party.
Okay,
It's the, yeah,
okay. So
So-
in one night, people visit 3 houses and they would stop at the Spackman Farm on the way home, essentially.
ciders, donuts,
Okay.
and carols. So
Is this in any way in conjunction with Parks and Rec when we do our annual Christmas tree lighting
no, this is
2 weeks later?
Yeah.
So the folks that are doing the walking tour,
the house tours. Yeah, they're historic house tours.
they're the ones that whatever they're paying CHS, they would include the Spackman Farm tour.
It's not a
Quaker House,
tour.
can we-
It's not a tour. It's
Open like
pull up, gather around the tree. Did you ever come over to the
Halloween
tree?
or something?
Yeah. Come around the tree. We'll have hot cider and donuts and carols.
sleigh rides.
What's that?
No.
Sleigh rides, yes.
Yeah, it might snow.
The wooden sleigh will be there and Tom can push anyone down the hill at that risk. What's that? Oh, it's neat, yes.
Might snow, you could offer sleigh.
Well, if we're having an event there like this, even though it's small, I mean, this is involving the staff to monitor it as well.
No.
What
Historical Commission. got it.
Date are we talking about?
The one we voted at our historical
Well,
commission,
13.
Saturday the 13th. At our last meeting, we voted
Oh.
on that date because that's when their house tours are.
Okay.
And in the past, what have you done after the historical tours?
Come on up, come on. Yeah.
Come on.
My name is Dawn Caroline, 4019 Edges Millville, current president of Alton Historical Society. So we just started our historic house tours last year. We had 2 tours. It was a 2-hour period of time for people to rotate through the different houses and finally come to the meeting house. And the meeting house was still had the decorations from the Tuesday night Christmas program that we do. And we had hot cider and cookies there at the end of the house tours. And I think what the Historical Commission, my understanding, is proposing is that, and we have an additional house this year.
Yes.
Still working on what the exact schedule is going to be and how we're going to handle that. Because we want everybody that does sign up to have time to tour all 3 houses comfortably and for the house owners also to be able to enjoy themselves. And then what we did at the end last year, Paul, was we invited all the volunteers, which included people that did parking, that did the refreshments, that did the tours of the meeting house, that helped with being hostesses and hosts in the houses to tour the houses. So the homeowners graciously allowed to leave their homes open and stayed with their homes for that extra time after the tours were made. So that's what was organized last year. And we still haven't quite finalized how the specifics are going to work this year with the additional tour. But we love the idea of cooperating with an open house at the Spackman Farm if the logistics can be worked out. That's
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
All right, comments from residents here, Township Building? I know we're pretty far away from December.
Sure. Yeah, it's already
No,
February. I don't know what you're saying.
After budget season, we won't be able to think straight
Yeah.
anyway. Anyone in Zoom?
Here.
Yeah, I do have some concerns about it, but we can talk through this. Just because one, the Spackman Farm one, the house, I assume you guys are talking about just being outside. Okay,
yeah.
so the house itself wouldn't be used.
Not at all.
We do have a policy in our public, in our parks. No one should be there past sunset. And I think that's in the MOU that we have as well.
No use with the Friends of, though, this is the town.
Well, I think we're all kind of following the same suit
Yeah.
with Park and Rec. I mean, do we, outside of our community day, I mean, we wait until the fireworks is over, sun setting right around that time.
We also have movies in the park.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have the tree lighting
Yeah,
out
true,
here.
yeah.
Not trying to be annoying.
You'll probably have about 5 new benches out there by then, right?
12.
At least 5.
How many, Dawn, how many people did you have last year? Like go through that door?
Yeah. Close to 60.
I gotta say, they were great. They were absolutely phenomenal to go into I got COVID that day and missed Christmas, but it was still worth it.
And I'm assuming these the houses that you have, they have logistics, parking and things like that, logistical issues as well. Yeah.
They handle it. Yeah. 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 Damn.
Yeah, I think there's some logistical things that can be worked out, but
Yeah.
I think it could be a good event.
Bring more information.
And I acknowledge that December is a long time away, but always want to try to bring
that
these
long.
items forward,
September.
Yeah.
even if there's still some logistics so it's can be worked out. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussions about any potential events, but I wanted to bring it to the board's attention before we get to Halloween, of course.
Yeah. It's only a week away, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
That'd be a nice place for Halloween haunted.
That's next year. I went into Jeffers, I love,
Yeah.
Jeffers is great. They get the best stuff, but they had their Halloween stuff up there, like things. And I'm like,
Hanging from the ceiling, yeah.
still August.
Mhm.
It's already.
Been on a 10. What are you
All right, next on the agenda, Friends of Spackman Davis Farm Fund Drive request. What do we have for this?
This agenda item came forward from the Friends of group. If you're familiar up at the Spackman Davis Farm, of course, the barn, there's a wall, stone wall, about 4 or 5 feet high around the perimeter of the front. You can see, obviously, it's in need of some repair. Vegetation had started to grow on the wall that displaced a number of the stones holding it together against the hole in approximately the center right of the photo. The Friends of would like to start a fund drive, a dedicated effort in order to try to solicit donations and funds specifically dedicated towards improving the wall. Of course, based on the MOU, I view this as a significant improvement to the property. One that I know we have discussed the need to repair that wall amongst many other things on that property. But as it being a significant improvement to the property, wanted to bring it to the board's attention for discussion. I do not have any specifics regarding exactly the, timelines or materials, but just the concept of targeting this particular improvement over some of the others, wanted it to be discussed publicly.
Val from the Friends of is
Oh,
here.
yes.
Al Mattio, 3000 Fisherville Road. I am the treasurer of Spackman Davis Farm, and everything Don said basically, but it's for basically masonry work is what we're going to hold the fundraising drive for. In front of the barn, there's also a knee wall in front of the main farmhouse, a small wall, and then some steps to the side of the house. That's going to be the preliminary work for the fundraising drive.
Okay.
The
And
key with this wall here is this is dry. There is no mortar used in this wall, am I right?
Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
big
this,
deal. Yeah.
this is a big
Hmm.
deal. This is like, I don't know how they did it, but, you know, I believe what as the Friends, we would like to do is raise some funds and then have the township work through contractors to do the work. That's very specific. And no work would be done without approval of the township or request of the township.
Right. Are the stones still laying there?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just a matter of putting them back together.
Well, yeah, see, I don't know if you can see, a tree has grown right through the middle of it.
Yeah.
So it's about taking apart part of the wall
Mhm.
without the rest of it collapsing.
Um,
Or Paul, you and I can go out there and just hold.
Oh, yeah.
Tom's knee. Yeah, forget it.
Can I ask how's your brick cell?
Hmm?
How's your brick cell going along?
What did we raise on that?
Working on that too. Yeah. So actually, we're gonna get back to that in September because yeah, most everybody's off for the month of August here, but we've sold 6 so far.
Okay.
And there are a lot of people interested. So
That would help.
we've been having a problem getting bricks etched. So the people that we've contacted so far said that the bricks that came from the fireplace are extremely old
Wow.
and probably can't be
Sure.
etched.
Right.
So what they recommend is either buying new bricks, etch them, paint them over so that you can see the color in the bricks.
Okay.
We don't really like that idea because after a couple of years, the color goes away. You don't really have anything. Some of the people had recommended that we buy memorial stones, put the names on the stones and put it
Put
next
them
to
in
the
the place.
walkway. We don't really like that either.
Yeah.
So we did find another masonry guy that we did not talk to yet, but Tom Parr is actually going to give him a call and see if he's got some other ideas. But we called the Catholic Church out on 82 because they've had this done before.
Wow.
Called the Veterans Memorial in downtown. They've had this done before. People that have done it in the past are no longer interested in doing it. So yeah, it's not that easy, but I'm sure there's somebody out there. We're just, but we're working on it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll ask, I know my, my alma mater, they sell bricks for the alumni house and they have them engraved and etched. And they do the fundraiser all year round. So you can at any time buy a brick. So I'll ask them who they use because I believe they use somebody that then mails them the bricks and then they put them into the
Right.
patio.
Even if you don't use
fantastic.
the original bricks. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Worst case scenario, the engraved new brick can be
See,
surrounded
around the old bricks. Yeah.
So it creates, yeah, Al even went to, headstone, people that do a headstone. Oh, he's a doer, that guy.
Okay. Well,
All right. And what type of fund drive? Do you have a plan?
Nehemiah?
Well, we didn't get that far yet. So what I did is all the money in the treasury and I sent everybody on the board to the Bahamas for the month.
Okay. All right.
Where's
So,
the ticket?
so they'll be back in September.
Okay.
Next meeting we'll work on that.
Okay.
Yeah, the president didn't want to, move forward with any real planning without knowing that.
Right. Right. If it's something that the board would entertain.
Yeah.
Understood.
Sounds good.
And you spoke about 2 other walls, one knee wall over by the home.
For the entrance to the house.
Side of the house there.
You have a picture? Just a picture and
We did notice during the picnic, it's starting to lean.
okay.
It hasn't, not a safety risk yet, but it is leaning.
It also has a tree growing through it.
Pesky.
Tree grows in Brooklyn. No, what tree grows? Backman. May as well pull up the stone stairs while you're at it. Yeah, the one down by the door, there's a underneath there. Yeah. So that wall would be collapsing
Oh, okay.
into, and it's a retaining wall too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But that is mortar, I believe, right?
That is what?
That's mortar.
Oh, okay.
So that's more easily repaired. And look at those bricks.
Wow.
They look familiar.
Looks like a
Even
chimney.
that stucco looks good.
And the third one was located, you don't have to show it, but the third area was where?
On the other side of the house,
By the back steps?
it's those, not all the way back there. It's around, if you're standing on the porch,
Mm-hmm.
looking out towards the road,
Right. Okay.
there's a stone staircase that goes down there
Towards the spring house.
towards the spring
Okay.
house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you want.
And,
Okay.
that needs some love too,
All right.
as do the shingles. But we'll
Sounds
get
good.
to everything one thing at a time. Thank you, Abby.
All right. Questions from residents here in the township building? Comments, questions, excitement?
Stop jumping up and down.
Anyone in Zoom? Right, yeah, I think it's well worth it. I'd be interested in finding out what type of drive. So maybe next time we're gonna have this on the agenda for an action item.
Yep.
So see if everyone comes back. Where'd you say, Bahamas? That's what we like, honest. All right, Ingleside Golf Course fairway mower purchase.
Thank you, commissioners. Yes, we did receive a request from the general manager, Nicole Bannon, at the golf course for a new fairway mower.
Mhm.
This would be a larger mower that's calibrated to properly mow the fairways of the golf course.
Mhm.
She's bringing this forward at this point. It is a budgeted item. I checked with the finance director earlier today. It is in the budget for the golf course for this year as an equipment purchase, but bringing it forward because the purchase price currently is $74,000 for the mower. It's a specialized piece of equipment. In September, it is, according to the manufacturer, the dealer that's offering it, it's expected to increase. They wouldn't provide how much, but said it would be increasing in the fall. If it's ordered, it would take, they predict 4 to 5 months in order to receive the new mower. So it would not be received until spring of next year.
Mm. And would not have to pay for it until then?
One would assume, I'll confirm that. She did not mention if it was money up front, but I think we would not want to pay until it's actually in our hands.
So, commissioners, any comments, questions? I believe this is like the last mower that you would actually need.
Green mowers, the larger, rough mowers, and this is the fairway. Hopefully those pieces of equipment, they're replacing some very old mowers that we've had some trouble with over the years. So hopefully this fleet of mowing equipment will last a long period of time.
Do we have the manpower there to operate this machinery that we're purchasing for this?
Seasonally, we do. Obviously, in the summer and during peak season, there's a lot of more individuals on site. She's transitioning between a mix of mostly part-time towards a full and part-time staff. By the time the mower arrives, we're obviously in next year. So we will have staff at that point in order to from a maintenance perspective, to manage that.
Do you think this is gonna, excuse me, remediate some of the problems they're having around the golf course as far as maintenance?
From what Nicole says, yes, this would help greatly. Again, I've offered to the commissioners and several we've taken rides and they, viewed the course. And I've had some conversations regarding different areas that have been brought to my attention from members of the board. And they are being addressed. I think the tools in order to support those improvements will help. It'll cut down on time and hopefully continue the improvements that are taking place there. The main factor over the hot summer months is irrigation, water. Now we've had earlier in the year, it was very wet, which, it's always difficult to get out and mow when it's wet. And now we have the reverse. Past couple weeks, it's been very dry. But according to the manager, this would be a great support, in order to improve the fairways of the course, which hopefully everyone that goes out to play there stays only on the fairways.
Mm-hmm. I know I lost a few balls somewhere.
In the grass.
Commissioners, any comments, questions? None? Here in the township building, any residents have comments, questions?
Yeah, well,
Anyone?
you did
Nope.
say this is budgeted, right? This was
Yeah.
already budgeted in. Spending $1 million on a fire truck, right? That's want to make sure that this was already budgeted and planned and,
Good call. Any golfers here in the township building? All right, no comments? Anyone in Zoom? Mark Fox? Yes, Mark.
Hi, Mark Evans actually kind of touched on my topic, so and I would say that unless the mower could be funded from the golf course, I think we should look for one that comes with a fire hose.
Well said.
excellent, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. No other questions? All right. Oh, that was just a discussion item, so we put it on the action item for next time around.
The next meeting should go like that.
Should.
Yeah.
Don't act now, the price is gonna change.
Yeah.
That's what they said. September is when they were going to
So
increase
we
by.
better,
gonna
can
go up.
we go ahead and make a motion?
If we vote at the end of the month, it would still get.
You can still
It'll
get
be
the
okay.
discount?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
fine with that.
I think so.
I'm sorry, I had to step out and I'm embarrassed, but bio breaks happen. Did you say when the delivery date on this thing is?
They couldn't give a specific date. They said 4 to 5 months, so presumably in early spring of 2026.
Yeah.
Or about when we get the fire truck we ordered 2 years ago in 2027. So, all right.
It'll show up just in time to cut the grass.
The
Hopefully.
fire out.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have some Pico power surges happening in our township. Bimazal?
Yes, thank you, commissioners. This is just as an update and for, we were notified of some power surges following one of, in conjunction or around the time of one of the most recent storms a couple weeks back along Kings Highway. A number of individuals have been apparently impacted by this, and it is brought to our attention that it's happened more than once in the past couple years. I've been just really wanted to let the board know and the public know we, as a township, have been in communication with PICO, and they've encouraged us to send over any resident addresses, contact information that may have experienced any issues during that most recent event. We have a form on the website that individuals are able to go on and fill out, put any comments, sent over the most recent batch earlier today. And the government relations contact at PICO, I've been in communication with her, and she's been, accepting those and working towards hopefully a successful resolution of that issue. But we have received quite a few contacts from the public regarding this issue, but wanted to get it on the agenda just to say if anyone has experienced difficulties, just form is right on the homepage of the website. Please feel free to fill it out and we'll get it to PICO on their behalf.
Thank you. Public announcement there.
I have a question. I see all these brand new power poles laying all over the place, Pico. And this happens every couple of years, it seems now, that they start changing this out. Why are they not getting like with the modern world and putting the stuff underground? Like if you're going to change the pole, why don't you put it underground where people aren't going to lose their power as often? I know you're Pico.
I believe that would be a question for the PUC.
Yes, come on up, Sam.
Sam Wiener from 2615 East Queens Highway. Yeah, this has happened twice. I have reached out to the PUC. I've put a complaint into them. I haven't heard back from them. Pico absolutely will not pay anything for damages. According to them, it's basically an act of God. They refuse to do anything. I've requested that they talk to their engineering department and just to do something. Look at the lines. Have somebody out there to do something to prevent this, because it's costing us a lot of money to repair everything or replace stuff. And like I said, this has happened twice within a little over a year. So,
How much have you lost in twice?
well, myself, I put out $1,000 the last time. Put out about $1,200 this time. My neighbors have put out up to $20,000, $30,000 in replacement. I'm fortunate enough that I can repair some of my stuff, but we put in whole house surge protectors this time. I have surge protectors, and I've shown you mine. They burn.
It's sitting on my desk.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's the thing will work. It does its job, but I keep telling them to wait for a fire to happen before you do something. We just like to have something done so it prevents it from happening again.
I'm really sorry that you and your other residents are dealing with this, and God sounds like God's really busy.
Yeah.
If these are acts of God, they are not.
Yeah.
They're acts of Tico.
Right. Yeah. Anything to, like I said, help prevent this from happening. Yeah. Would be nice.
Well, and that's hope that was our hope, is that by collecting contacts from all the residents that have been impacted yourself. I
right.
remember when we spoke last year about
Right.
the situation.
Yeah. And it was like 130 that's my understanding.
We've heard from, I'd say, approximately 70 residents so far.
Pico said 30. We call.
Plus the fact that they were out 24 hours going from house to house because of the meters burning.
We have at our business, we're the end of the line, and we had a 50,000 amp surge protector.
Yeah.
It blew it apart.
Yeah.
And we've spent 20 to 30,000 in repairs. And Pico won't do anything. You're right. They offer nothing. They say a branch fell on the line and that's what caused it. And our insurance companies put out a good amount of money. It blew out air conditioners, phones, computers, garage door openers, you name it. It's burnt everything up in our shop. But yeah, they're very difficult to deal with, and they don't want to do anything. And they don't even want to look at the line, because it keeps happening.
Right.
And they don't want to address the issue at all.
Yeah.
We've tried grounding cables, we've tried everything to keep from getting surges, but they don't seem to do anything.
Just to let you know, Pico was great at responding to the problem. It's the doing something about it that I think is more of a concern.
And so far, our communications with Pico have been quick, positive, and we'll continue to move forward with whatever options are available in order to address the situation. It's simply communicating is not our only option, but we hope we're able to get a resolution. In the meantime, though, the more residents that do reach out and provide their contact information, we're here to support as a partner. And so please encourage your neighbors, if they have not already, to fill that form out. And we'll continue to establish that paper trail with Pico, that these our residents are being impacted. So of anyone that hasn't taken the time to fill that out, please encourage them to do so.
Will do. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
See, we have a hand raised there. Yes, Earl. Oh, you're still muted there.
Turn it off when I'm not talking.
There you go.
I'm curious about something because we had that happen here a long, long time ago. It was the house behind me and the house here, the farmhouse behind me. The electric stove would come on all by itself. And finally, we went to the PUC. And it was the PUC that finally drove Pico into the ground and made them fix. It was a transformer out on Lloyd Avenue. I don't know if anybody hasn't gone to the PUC, but that's what worked then. That's all I can tell you. And they did come and replace the whole thing, including the stove in that house and I forget what we lost. I think we lost an air conditioner. They did replace everything. So for what it's worth, that worked.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
All right, nice public announcement there. Appreciate that, Don. All right, next on the agenda, board minutes. Unfortunately, we just received them this evening, so I don't know about you guys. I haven't had a chance to read them. So I entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Kennedy. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes have been tabled for the next meeting. Finance Department, we have a check. Around 54,458 to 54,535. Any questions, comments? If not, entertain a motion to approve the checks.
So moved.
So moved and second. Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Tindaro. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Checks have been approved. On to the meat and potatoes of our meeting. Park and Rec.
Park and Recs. Wow. Seems like we're the lifeline to the community. We keep a lot of great things going on with, thanks to our Chief Elias and the police department. National Night Out was a huge success and
Oh, yeah.
in support of Parks and Rec. I mean, we literally had to ask the people to leave the park. They were having that much fun. It was really enjoyable, nice evening. Fellowship was great. The exhibits, fire department, police department, kids had a ball. I mean, they brought everything to life, for young and old. So congratulations. It was a huge success. So that gave us an indication that we're doing good things in our community. And some of the characters were out, brought characters out of so many other people. I mean, just to see the seniors out dancing and enjoying themselves and the children. It was a great night. And now we're getting prepared for Community Day. That's going to be on September 6th. Still need a few sponsors, but spaces are filling up quickly. So if you're interested in coming out and being a part of our Community Day, make sure that you look at our website, get in touch with Abby, and join the fun. It's going to be great. We had a chance to review our budget. Looks like we're pretty much in line with few modifications to continue to offer the many diverse programs that we do in the township. So just keep watching because we're growing and we're expanding our activities, for the young and old. And don't forget to look at the website for the photography class that's coming up and the sketch class. And we're really excited about the benches. I mean, I actually called Abby a week before they reached out to us with the same idea. It was phenomenal. So looking forward to participating in that. We don't well, everybody knows that you just get on the website, pick one of the parks you like to have your bench dedicated to and whom you would like it dedicated from. And let's just share this. It's gonna be a great idea. We don't want everybody running to the meadow. We're trying to minimize it to 5 benches per location to start. So if you're really interested, look at the website, pick your park, pick your bench and your memorial label. And we're excited about that. I don't know what else. Other than the fact that we did discuss our Kings Highway Strategic Task Force, we're on board with that. And we're also interested in working along with Spackman Farm, the golf course, everywhere. You're gonna see us everywhere because we're just linking up with every entity in Callan to be a part of all the events that take place. In regards to COG, excuse my absence, I was not available to participate the last meeting.
All right, thank you, Jane. Municipal Authority update. Oh, and he stepped away. A pre-construction meeting was held on July 15th for County Meeting House Granger Lane Sewer Extension Project. And the start date is actually this Monday coming, right? Correct. Originally it was August 4th. So just a little bit of a delay with 2 weeks or so. All right. CTMA at the July meeting adopted resolution 2025-7 authorizing the release of the maintenance security posted by Willows at Valley Run Phase 1. Dedicated offsite sewer improvements were installed as part of the Willows at Valley Run Phase 1 project. And then last but not least, with Dara, project design continues and is making good progress. It's a huge update there. You missed the announcement. The only thing you came in for was the sewer extension, right? Yeah. But I'll get you a public comment there. All right, fire board. Oh, hey, we did not meet since last time. There is no report for that. Leading into historical.
Hey, the Historical Commission last met on,
That was good timing on my part, wasn't it? Oh, no, I always ask at the end. That's okay.
Still on?
No. We're gonna finish the liaisons first.
yeah, the
I'm just making some light. Yeah. That was good timing.
That was- you
The only
couldn't have
reason why
timed
you
that
came
better.
is to talk about this. Okay.
The Historical Commission met on July 16th. We had a quorum. Our next meeting is coming up this coming Wednesday, right here at 7 o'clock. We reviewed and approved a recommendations document to share with the Kings Highway Park Task Force. We approved Saturday, December 6th as our date to decorate Spackman Davis Farm for the holidays. Discussed the potential of working with OCHS with a holiday thing up there. We discussed a video promo to share on Callan Facebook page. We agreed to provide a monthly blurb, and my notes I wrote blub for the township newsletter, which we did, right? Or something. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yay. We approved a table at Count Community Day. But the coolest thing is like when like the universe just comes together. OCHS has a member named Mickey McAllister who dedicated countless years of her life, probably, doing all the research on the graves at the Hicks site section of the cemetery at Old Town Meeting House. Now, I'm not going to go deep into the 1827 schism that left. There's Orthodox, which really weren't Orthodox. They wanted to make it something else. And then there are the Hicksites who wanted to stick with traditional Quaker theology and, don't be rich and don't be obnoxious and don't own slaves and work to help people be free and stuff like that. So during the schism, they have separate cemeteries. Not an individual meeting house. The Hicks site is the one that's right next to the meeting house. So got this list of everyone buried there. And then in June, the Historical Commission went to the CCHPN awards dinner, and a woman named Bertha Jackman was receiving an award and gave this amazing speech about Pennsylvania Hallowed Grounds and all the work that she's done. And Hallowed Grounds are where African American who fought free men and slaves who escaped fought in the Civil War. And communicated with Bertha a little bit, and last week sent the information to her and to PA Hallowed Grounds. And within like 48 hours, they came back and said, "You're approved." And that site, that cemetery site, is now going on their official map And I just want to say it was Private Martin Ewing of Company A, 3rd Regiment, United States Colored Troops. You know, I don't use that language, but that's what it was called at the time. He is interred there. That man, what he went through to get his own freedom, and then went and took, and fought with the Union. It's a beautiful story, and I want to learn more about him. So anyway, that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Always a history lesson. Like
Yeah.
that. All right, Lincoln Highway.
So unfortunately, I was not able to make the meeting last night, but my esteemed colleague to the left did write a little blurb that I'm going to read. They met last night and focused on a discussion expanding multimodal improvements to Lincoln Highway. Pedestrian and bicycle safety and connectivity are of the utmost importance to Lincoln Highway. So I can't offer any more insight than that, but that's the report.
Nice,
Right.
nice.
That was a great.
Very
Thank you,
good.
Josh. Well written.
Succinct.
Well, all right, Ingleside Golf Course.
Hi. This is Lorraine Tendero, and club membership is now available with discounts to Callan residents, seniors, juniors, family, and veterans. June and July revenue and activity were strong. 4,000 rounds were played and 146,000 in revenue for June. The new food and beverage carts are generating revenue. Planning for events and fundraisers throughout 2025, led by John Frank as event manager, are expanding and include a Halloween event in planning. The golf course improvements are providing greens ready to play, and the facilities are in good condition. Issues with course sprinkling systems, heavy user traffic, and severe heat have affected the greens conditions, and the conditions are being addressed and improved, which includes additional hirings. Expanding alcohol products to meet changing demographics should grow revenue with beverage sales. Our next golf committee meeting is Monday, August 25th at 12 noon. Great job, Nicole, and the entire Ingleside golf team for implementation of a robust 2025. The weather is improving, and so come out and play Ingleside. That's it. Thanks again.
Thanks,
you, Lorraine.
Lorraine.
Thank you.
All right. I will reach out for some comments. You want to comment on the Town Meeting House Extension Sewer Project? Okay. Yes, come on up to the mic. Just state your name again so we have it on the record. Okay.
He did his homework.
got there for me.
Oh. Got it. Thank you.
Did his research. Thank you.
So I'm Rick Chappelle. I'm at 3 Granger Lane, right in the midst of this sewer project that we're getting ourselves involved in. And frankly, since the get-go, since I first became aware of this planned project, I've been in discussion with Don, with Scott. I've also talked to your code department, and I've also talked to your building inspector. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any information out of the ladder two at all. But I've written letters, I kept my neighbors informed. I advised them of the lowest cost contractors that I've touched base with, and I've talked to about 15 of them, I would say. But from the get-go, my chief concern is the standards that are applied to the on-property plumbing takes place. And one of the questions I had, I spoke with Don about this, and I spoke with Scott about this, is what are the standards? What's the requirements for the lateral line that goes from the house to the sewer? And I haven't been able to find that out. And the chief question that I dealt with was building traps, whole house building traps. If you know what's under your sink, that's a trap. It's looks like a U, generally goes into the wall. It traps water in there, and the reason for the water is to seal the trap so you do not get gas, sewer gas, coming into the house or the residence. So as far as building traps goes, they were used. Now, building trap is based on that sheet, the first sheet that I gave you. You can actually see a light design of what's called a whole house building trap. It's sitting at the right of way. Looks like a U. Got a vent on one side and a clean out on the other. Those things have been prohibited since the 1950s. The reason they have been, well, let me explain why this thing is there prior to the 1950s. Because in the houses that were built in 30s and 40s did not have individual traps in each fixture. So they had to rely, to keep sewer gas from getting into the house, they had to rely on an outside vent to hopefully vent the gas into the atmosphere before it affected the homeowner. And gas in those coming into the house from a sewer is generally methane, has an odor to it, so on and so forth. That's a warning. Since the 1950s, when I started to construct newer designs in plumbing and so on and so forth, is they put a main stack. Every fixture now has a vent or a trap on it. I'm sorry, it has a trap on it, and then the main line of the sewer is vented right through the roof. It's the big 3 and 4 inch pipe that goes right through the center of the roof. Not through the center, but up through the roof. The purpose for that is not only to vent the sewer, Main Street sewer that travels up the lateral into the house, but it also provides venting for each fixture in the house, because you don't want to trap gas and or water in there. The water has to flow, and it's got to get air to flow properly. And I'm sorry if you're looking a little puzzled.
Well, yeah, Rick, I mean, well, one, this is actually a CTMA thing. The board here doesn't make the decisions on the sewer items. I mean, we're here to listen to you. The municipal authority where Scott works with, that's the board that could probably answer your questions. I mean, we're here to listen, but
I get it.
My question, I guess my puzzled face here is, where are we going with this trap idea?
Okay.
Because the sewer extension is the project which you missed when you stepped out. And I'm sorry to be laughing about that because it was the perfect timing, but
that's fine.
The project starts on Monday.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, they're going to put.
I'm sorry? Is that true?
Yes. No one's known about when.
I'm curious about that. I know Scott has met with many of the residents there, and I thought this was all set up.
And no, and you're correct in part in that the project was supposed to start 2 week ago. And I know there was a notification letter sent out to residents. The fact that you came in following receiving that notification letter. Unfortunately, the contractor, they obviously have a number of jobs that they work on. and they had some staffing issues with the job that they were working prior to this one. And they did reach out and say they were going to be delayed. We didn't know until just recently when that delay would, how long that delay would be. There's a large sign that's put up for projects like this, notifying the public that if it hasn't gone up yet, it will be going up on the street tomorrow. Yes. So the initial start of the project will be, cutting the pavement, saw cuts and things of that sort. So that should not have any large impacts to residents immediately. But we always try to give as much notification as possible. I know Scott was up there personally for individuals that may not have relocated where the lateral will go, trying to acquire if there were changes on where that lateral will be, where the flags were posted, to get those signatures. So I know he was in the neighborhood earlier this week and last week, knocking on doors. Obviously, he's out there. If someone's not home, if someone's out, he's not able to touch base with everyone. But between the letter that went out stating that the project was starting, again, out of our control when the exact date would be. And if it rains on Monday, if the weather's terrible, it may not start on Monday. We can't control all those aspects, but the project will be starting very soon with a target date of Monday.
Well, I would just suggest somebody notify the homeowners because most of them don't know. They really don't.
Now, let me ask you this. I mean, all the residents know this project
know
is coming. Okay, it was just a matter of what day it would actually start.
I mean, I've notified them, they haven't even read your letters, and I knew that was the case.
Okay.
So I personally have notified them of what's going on.
And Patty's on top of it as well, so you know that.
To answer your previous question about why am I here talking about this?
Well, yeah, I am curious about the trap thought, so yeah.
Because I was advised to come and talk to you.
Okay.
And the other secondary reason and primary reason, this is the code requirement. This is a building code requirement. I don't know that the CPMA has anything to do with building codes. I know they've got to function under their own standards. Go ahead.
Well, with the code requirement in terms of it will any sort of plan such as this.
Yeah.
I know there were conversations, and I don't want to speak on Director Stackhouse's behalf, but we do have a policy to provide general information, but specific feedback regarding the plan. You need to have something in hand to review, a permit, things of that sort. With this project, because the actual construction is going to take some time.
Right.
So the project will be starting shortly, Monday perhaps, but in the very near future, and it is a several weeks, several months project. So we would not allow anyone to file those permits until the project is been accepted, goes through the CTMA board. It's been tested to make sure the work's been done appropriately, things of that sort. And then we'll start accepting those permits and reviewing. But until that time, it's very difficult to give an absolute answer until we can actually see and have the codes department review that permit. There's always room for misunderstandings, obviously through email and letters, but even communication, it's much easier when there's a permit in hand. The codes department can point to different things, make different recommendations, work with whatever plumber individual homeowners select, and then finally approve the proposed plan. So I think there will be ample opportunity in order to have the discussions regarding the specifics of what the plumbing needs will be and take into consideration your experience and expertise in this matter. But that we wouldn't be able to, it'd be premature to really approve a permit now because the project hasn't been moved forward.
I'm not asking for the permit. In order for me to even put together, so to speak, proper plan, if you want, I'm looking for a code requirements. I'm looking for the codes that township puts in place. And from that, then I can put together a plan. I can plan my own project in my head. Without that, I'm guessing in the dark and I'm playing behind the 8 ball. In the back of those sheets, you'll see some certificates on there. I used to work for the state of Virginia. I lived down there. The state of Virginia has a leg up on Pennsylvania, I can tell you. They have one code in the state of Pennsylvania or state of Virginia. And I don't care where you go, from Fairfax, Virginia, down to Richmond, Virginia, it's the same code. And it's all administered the same way. I don't find that here at all. And when I worked up here in inspection department, it's one of the reasons I quit, because it was so difficult to administer codes when you go a quarter of a mile down the street to another township and it's all different. So I came here because my standard is I want the best safety standard I can get for my house and my living quarters, so on and so forth. And I don't want to see something. You're talking about historical items in the township. Building traps are historic. They go back that way, that far. First, a straight shot in my house, which is simpler. It works. There's no element for clogging, and there's no requirement for a plumber to go down 8 feet, 10 feet in the ground over his head to install a trap that's not really necessary.
Well, what we can do, we can ask Don and Scott, just collaborate and try to get you the codes that need to be followed, or figure it out as we go here.
Or get me one of those individuals to speak with, and I'll be glad to speak with them later. And go from there. But I didn't mean to take time out of your meeting, but this is what I was correct.
This is what we're here for.
Did Scott send you? Is that it? Scott, yeah.
I'm not blaming anybody.
Scott's sleeping right now. No.
But after those handouts, I was going to give a quiz, but I see that.
Give us time to study.
Yeah, I studied.
As long as
Let us
it's
study
multiple
this.
choice, I'll be fine.
So, yeah, if you can get me in the loop, get me the right people to talk to, because I want it to be right. And so that's where I am.
No problem there. It's great to finally meet you. I know, emails back and forth and, yeah.
Well, I hope it elevated my position in your mind, because I know some of the negatives that fly around. So,
No,
not at all.
I appreciate you sitting through this entire meeting to share your concern. And I want to say, as a long time resident of New York State,
in New York State,
yeah, I cannot figure Pennsylvania out at all. Nothing about Pennsylvania makes sense.
I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, but
I was born in Virginia.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, no, and so it's frustrating for me to have been in the business of doing this stuff, and then I'm here and it's like, okay, which way do I turn?
Right.
So not to knock you, but I'm just trying to get some clarification and cooperate.
Understood.
All right.
Appreciate
Great.
it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to meet you.
All right. Next on additional business. Any additional business?
Oh, there's no business?
Somebody's doing presentation?
No. Okay.
Scott?
If you don't mind, can I make a comment on
Yes. Yeah, come on up.
on the previous discussion about Well, I've been living in the house for
Over to the mic.
30,
We do
38
have
years.
folks on Zoom.
I've been in my house for 38 years.
Okay.
I've seen the worst. And frankly, they haven't done so much. One of the problems that you have with Third Street, and I believe me, I've been around the horn with Pico. Part of the law is, at least, I don't know where that law comes from, but they're only allowed to cut a 10-foot diameter around an electrical. It doesn't matter whether the tree balloons over the line or not. It's just nothing within that 10-foot diameter. And that's part of the problem with these surges, is you're going to drop branches at the top of those trees. It's going to impact the electric line, temporarily interrupt it, so you know you got all this power coming through there. And the only way you're going to fix that is that law change.
Well, that's repeat business for them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. But I did want to make that comment. And part of the other slowness, remember we talked about that pole that's sitting right on the edge of the road on Tammany House Road, and they won't move it. That's still there. So it's an accident waiting to happen. That's my comment.
I got an idea for that poll. Thank you so much, really, both of you for coming.
So no additional business? All right. Any other public comment? Everyone's ready to go home, huh?
Actually, I had this document I wanted to read.
Quick, Abby, anyone on Zoom? Other comments? Up-
Hey, Mark.
Welcome back, Mark.
Hey, how you doing? I won't take up much more of your time here. Now that this Sheets thing is out into public domain, what's the process that they need to go through? Like, do they have to start with the planning commission? I noticed that there was a canceled planning commission meeting, but it looks like it's next week now. When does this start getting discussed?
You're breaking up, Mark. You're breaking up. I can't hear.
It wasn't, by the way, that there was a glitch in the system. It was not canceled. Or the meeting was not canceled.
Don,
I'll let the,
yeah, who wants to take that one?
Yes, it will be, it would have to advance through planning commission, and then go to the board of commissioners. Could see it come forward, unclear exactly when, but potentially in the September planning commission meeting. The sheets.
Yes.
September. It'll more than likely, all things progressing as we, stand, would be in the September planning commission meeting. Yeah, I almost did.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
The sketch plan review has not been issued yet. So
Exactly.
we expect that probably tomorrow or the beginning of next week, and it is tentatively scheduled for September, yes.
For September planning commission.
That's correct.
Okay.
Unless they decide not to go to the planning commission, sometimes that occurs, and then they just drop back and reevaluate.
And under the current plan they have, they would need a conditional use as well.
That's correct, and they have communicated that to us. So again, with the sketch plan, potentially they'll just take that information, prepare their conditional use application and plan, and then move forward with that process first. Or they may, want to come to the planning commission. We'll anticipate them going to the planning commission, but they have communicated that they understand, they need a conditional use in the whole 9 yards.
All right. Mark, does that answer your question?
For now, I think so, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from Zoom? All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved, second, third, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Thank you all.